Washington XL 92.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to our coverage from the SEC Media Days in Atlanta, Georgia. It is Florida Day today. You heard from mostly LSU folks 2 days ago, Georgia yesterday. So now let's talk some Florida Gator football. Frank Frangie and Matt Hayes. We're going to kick it right off with the first-team All-American center from a year ago, Jake Slaughter from the Florida Gators, who joins us now. Jake, thanks for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
You told me during the break you're having fun. Has this been fun, kind of hanging around here?
No, it has. It's been a fun day, and it's a tremendous honor to be here and represent my guys.
Tell us a little bit about your background. You told us off air. I'm going to let you tell our listeners now as well. Grew up in Ocala.
Yes, sir.
Been a football player all along. You like to hunt and fish when you're not playing. How did this whole football thing, how did you go from that to the first-team All-American center?
You know, I wouldn't say that was always like the thing. I always just loved playing ball. I loved being around the guys, you know, just being with my buddies. And, yeah, I knew I wanted to play college football, work my tail off in high school to get to college. And then it was funny. Just work your way up through college and play your best ball and look around and you get prestigious honor.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I saw, like, in the offseason, I saw you got the paver with all the other Florida All-Americans. Such a wonderful way to, like, explain and show everyone you are the elite of the elite at the school. It's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So this team last year, you guys went through a lot the 2 previous years. When did it turn? When did you guys feel like it turned, that you guys were headed in the right direction?
You know, it was kind of interesting because the results weren't immediate. But for me, we played Mississippi State, and then we had a bye week. And in that bye week, we kind of changed our practice format. You're in a bye week, ain't playing on Saturday, so you go to work. You know, it's a lot of good on good. It's not a scrimmage every day, but you're playing ones on ones and twos on twos. Yeah, you're going out there and mixing it up. So we started keeping score of everything. One-on-one pass rush, one-on-one wide receiver, DB, running routes. Everything was 1 or 0. You either won or you didn't. And, if it was an efficient run, you got a point. If the defense stopped you, it was a point for them. A tackle for loss was 2 points for them. And, it turned into just such a competitive atmosphere. And, guys really bought in. There was a huge mindset shift in the locker room. Guys stepped up in leadership roles that maybe they weren't in before. And, it was really interesting and really neat to be a part of.
Jake, I can tell you, this offensive line group, the fact that you're all back together, the fact that Austin Barber is going to be an NFL left tackle, the fact that Damian George kind of found himself, I think, as a guard, better guard than he was a tackle. It's rare to get a group like that, and IJ Ali need to put in there too. It's rare to get a group like that back. What does it mean to have that many of you back that played together, and that's why people are calling it one of the best lines in the country?
I think continuity is such a big thing in offensive line play. I think that, having all of us back, all 4 of us back, and then, Bryce Levitt, Rod Kearney, guys that played a bunch of snaps last year and really kind of came into their own. I think continuity is so big in the development of a group. The cohesion. When you're in the fire with a guy, you really kind of understand, how do I need to communicate to him? What does this look like through his perspective? And, our thing in the O-line room is we're 5 = 1. You need 5 guys looking through one lens at the same time.
Jake, so when you explain to everyone, I guess, the idea and the concept of playing offensive line, how difficult it is, number one, and number two, how you've grown since the first time you went out there in your first start. What was that like, your first SEC start, to now where you are a returning All-American?
It was funny. I look back, my first start was at Utah, and I didn't play very well. I had an okay game, but gave up a sack, and, it just wasn't – I was out there shaking, man. I hadn't played a football game since high school. I was in year 3. And, funny, a few months ago, Coach Napier looked at me, and, he was giving me a hard time. He goes, buddy, I looked at you before the game, and I knew you were in for it. Maybe not that, but, he was giving me a hard time.
Right.
He said you were wearing it, You can tell I was nervous. But, there's so much growth, and, it's something that, for me, and, a lot of guys kind of share this, is you got to go out there and just go play. And, you get so much from those in-game reps and understanding situational football and the way that guys are in games, because you can practice till you're blue in the face, but those game reps get you so much better.
And that's grown men you're dealing with in the SEC too. Grown men, first-round picks. That's big-time ball.
DJ Lagway, he's going to join us in a little bit, but when he was at the podium, he said one of the best things was having you in front of him. Line calls, helping him understand. He's a freshman. Tell me about him. What's he like? We've watched him as a player. It's his team. What's it like in the huddle? What kind of command of the huddle does he have? Tell us some stuff about DJ maybe we don't know.
Yeah, so he has such great command in the huddle and in the locker room, on the field, because the guys just respect him as a man and as a teammate. The way that he pours into his guys, he takes care of his guys. I can't stress that enough. He's a student of the game. He studies. He's starting to see the big picture so well. He knows what all 22 guys are going to be doing, and that's such a big part of playing quarterback. That's the way guys view him. So that's the biggest thing with DJ. And I also think he's selling himself short a little bit. He knew what was going on. He let me drive the boat for a little bit.
Right. You guys are kind of overlooked here. Have you noticed that? I mean, you're kind of overlooked all off season. Do you guys feel like you can have a big splash this year in this league?
We're just so ready to go mix it up. We're ready to go compete every day, every game.
All right, so you grew up in Ocala, so you're around the Gator stuff. You know the Gator football. And the reality is, Florida for a long time, when you were a little kid, was elite. Okay,
Right.
Well, hadn't been elite for a while. But this could be the team that brings that back. It feels that way.
Right.
Again, I think from a talent standpoint, it looks like a really talented team in just about every spot. What would it mean to be the group that kind of brings Florida back?
So I'll tell you, I grew up around Gator football. It was all I wanted when I was a kid. I wanted to be a player. Yeah, I wanted to be a Gator, and it would mean the world to me. It's such an honor to be a player, and to kind of have the role that I've stepped into, and it would mean so much to me to be part of that group that brought Florida back to where we're supposed to be.
Jake, were you guys at any point playing for Billy last year, like knowing the idea of the pressure he was under?
I think we did a great job of blocking out the noise, but at the same time, everybody's on social media. The noise is the noise. You're going to hear it. And I wouldn't say we're playing for Coach Napier's job, because that's not the truth. We're playing for each other. We're playing to prove each other right. We know the work that we put in to get to the point we're at. But, there is a sense of, we love Coach Napier because of the man that he is, the integrity, the character that he has, and, he's a good football coach. So I think there's a little bit to say about, we want to go play for Coach Napier.
Did that help as well? Did that help, you think, the momentum you guys gained in the second half?
I would say it was definitely part of it.
Yeah.
Right, final thing. Coach Napier talks about culture a lot.
Right.
And by the way, and we all know this, the book has been, the story is still unwritten about Billy Napier. Will he make it? Will he not? Will he be on the hot seat? We like you said, we're all on social media, but nobody debates he's a good dude. Even the people that don't want him to be the coach, nobody debates that. How important is culture? How important is, he said there's a lot of leaders on this team. How much can that help you get to kind of where you guys want to be?
I think it's such a big part of his program. It being player-led. He needs guys to step up and take the role. He needs players to do it because, the honest truth is the best football teams year round, the players run the show. Accountability is ran through the players. You don't need a coach to hold your hand to hold the guy accountable. So I think, culture is something we got to protect daily, and we build it daily. It's one of those things that if you're not working on it, you're losing it.
Jake Slaughter, the All-American Center. I can see why people are excited about you, man. Thank you for spending some time. Have fun at this thing. This thing's supposed to be fun.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Jake Slaughter from the University of Florida here at the SEC Media Days. We appreciate Jake stopping by. Now, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to say hello to DJ Lagway. You've heard a lot about him. And Billy Napier. That's all coming up. Still stay with us on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Adding sizzle to your summer. 1010XL, your summer station. That's hot.
Hi, it's Frank Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass, there's one name I trust, and that's Lee & Case Glass. Mirrors, custom showers, tabletops, even foggy glass windows, they handle all that. And they've been doing it right since long before I ever picked up a mic. Local, family-owned, and part of this community, just like we are. They've taken great care of me, including our brand-new walk-off offices. Guys, they did a great job, and I promise they'll do the same for you. Lee & Case, it's the clear choice. Check them out at leeandcaseglass.com.
This is Hayes Carlion for Harrell and Harrell. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harrell and Harrell. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harrell and Harrell at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
Frank Frangie here for my friend and insurance agent, Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now's a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
I've been having knee problems for probably 6 months, and my knee was getting worse, and I had heard about Southeast Orthopedics on the radio, and I gave them a call. They got me right in. Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. It was painless, and it's been doing fantastic. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
It's the blog players put their pads on for.
So we got to bring my thoughts and observations on our home team. That's what I share with you every week on my blog.
Roland Reach Plumbing brings you Hayes Blog on 1010XL.com.
Looking for summer fun the whole family can enjoy? Check out Wick, a candle bar. Make your own custom candles and body care products in store at Wick, a candle bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
Hey, it's Joe C. Summer in Jacksonville means the sun is hot, the grills are fired up, and your water heater probably full of sludge.
Nah, not mine.
Think, when was the last time you flushed your water heater out? It's okay, you could say it.
Probably never.
Flushing a water heater each year improves its efficiency and extends its lifespan.
They sure don't make them like they used to.
So call Roland Reese Plumbing for a routine water heater flush out and any other plumbing needs. 260-7059 or at plumberandjacks.com. Roland Reese Plumbing.
Football season is almost here, so before it arrives, I'm going to get my home organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, anywhere that needs to be organized. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off during the month of July. Call 878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie, and I've got to tell you, I've heard Hacker and Mike and Matt talk so much about Awaken 180, how easily they were able to lose weight, how it works, the personalized coaching, the food choices, the whole bit, and I was really impressed. So when my daughter Amber told me she was trying to lose a few pounds, I recommended it. She and I both connected with the folks at Awaken 180 to learn more. Well, she started, and she absolutely loves it. She said the food choices are perfect for her. She loves her coach. She believes it truly will improve her overall health. Man, there's not much better than hearing your kid excited. I can assure you nobody means more to me than my daughter. And I wouldn't trust just any company to help her, but I trust the folks at Awaken 180. If you are ready to kickstart your transformation, you should give them a call at 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com. It's helped our family. It truly has. It can help yours as well. Give Awaken 180 a call today.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's where football season starts.
Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing SEC Media Days.
Protected by Florida Pest Control and Lucas Tree Service on 1010XL.
All right, we welcome you back, and we're glad you are with us on this Wednesday installment. We always want to thank our friends from Coyle & Sons Fencing. Gosh, what a terrific job they do. They are the fencing specialists in all of Jacksonville. Whatever you need, residential or commercial fencing, Coyle & Sons, C-O-I-L-E. Coyle & Sons, they are the folks to know in our market. I can assure you of that. Frank Frangie along with Matt Hayes here. We are live. It's our third of 4 days here at the SEC Media Days. It is Gator Day. You've already heard from Jake Slaughter. What a sharp guy he is.
Yeah.
What a terrific.
Humble dude.
Humble
and thankful and grateful.
Smart, and what a good leader. You know, I mean, I can see why people feel the way they do about him. And we're going to hear from DJ Lagway. Caleb Banks will both be on our show today. Billy Napier come by. We should hear from DJ and Billy in this hour. But I can see why people are overwhelmingly impressed with Jake Slaughter.
Yeah, just like a really good friend of mine once told me, you got to be full of life, humble, thankful, grateful, and that's what he is. That's what he is.
He's got those all covered. I agree with you. So all right, let's. If you were listening, if you didn't hear it on our show, you'll have another chance to hear it on our show either today or tomorrow. But at the end of Helmets and Heels, we visited with our friend Greg Sankey, the terrific commissioner of the SEC. We haven't had a chance to really unpack what he said yet, but interesting. He's not willing to go to the fact that we're going to 16 teams. But I'm telling you, Matt, we're going to 16 teams. He just wants to make sure he protects his teams.
Leverage.
Yeah, and that's what this is. I don't think there's any doubt now we're headed to those 16 teams. There's not a doubt in my mind.
So let me just say this. I wouldn't doubt it at all if they're both, they know what they're doing, and they've talked to each other about this, and they're using this leverage to get the strength of schedule thing that they want. That metric to be the number one thing that you look at when you're choosing a team. Because to his point, and he explained that when he said when he went through that mock, which I did go through years ago. But the point is, they show you how they go about picking teams. And his point was, he's looking at Alabama, and he's looking at probably Ole Miss and South Carolina, and he's looking at the teams they've played, and he's looking at Indiana, which beat one team with a 6-6 record or better, one, and played three.
Right.
So that. To him, that's like okay, what is going on here?
The whole mess.
2 and lost one.
I've been saying this for weeks, Matt, and he confirmed it without saying it because I even said it to him, and he said, "Well, you can say that. I contractually can't." Well, I can say it. His concern is he believes his 9-3 team is a better football team than somebody else's 11-1 team almost every time. Whether he's right or not is a different question. He's the guy that's got to, but he's in charge of trying to help make this thing fair. And in his opinion, his 9-3 team. Now you can say, well, Alabama's 9-3.
When there are exceptions too.
Yeah. But in his
both
opinion,
sides.
right? In his opinion, more times than not, what he believes is that his 9-3 team is better than your 11-1 team, and he wants to make sure there's other barometers other than what your record is, because record has always dominated the voting.
Yeah,
it's all. 2 years ago, it didn't. FSU's 13-0 team didn't get in, then an Alabama team did that had lost. And ever since then, there was such an outcry, and it should have been then because that was different. But the bottom line is, record shouldn't be everything. Whether you believe him or not, or whether you agree with him or not, that is Greg Sankey's position. The other part of it is, he said something very interesting. I said, they have to get NIL under control. He said, more importantly than that, they've got to get the transfer situation under control.
Yeah, that's the
that
big
was
thing.
really interesting.
That's
it was
the big
interesting
thing
that meant that much to him.
It means that much to everyone in college football, actually.
Yeah.
Because they don't, and I've been saying this for so long now, Frank, for year after year. I'm saying on primetime over and over. I've written about it over and over. They don't care about players making money. They don't care. All right? It's a pain in the butt for them to have to deal with the caps side of it, but they don't care. They care about free player movement. They care that players can go anywhere they want year after year after year. That's the problem. It's not only that the fact that it's a pain in the butt for roster building and roster retention. It's that they think it cheapens the game. And whether it does or doesn't is another story for another time. But that's their problem. It's not the NIL. And I know everybody else says NIL, and NIL is going to kill college sports, it's not. It's the free player movement, because that's the problem.
And that is what Greg Sankey talked about. All right, let me set the scene for today. You're going to hear from both DJ Lagway and Billy Napier in this hour, we believe. That's the schedule. So it is Florida Day. You've already heard from one, but you're going to hear from Caleb Banks. Our old friend Danny Werfel is going to stop by. So a lot of Gator stuff today, as well as the commissioner. Maybe or maybe not Chris Doring. He stopped by, said he's going to try and get by, if not today, tomorrow. But you heard LSU Day 1, and a few other teams. Georgia Day 2, and a few other teams. Today it's Gator Day. Also Mississippi State, Alabama, Oklahoma have all been here. But the buzz has been around DJ Lagway. I can tell you that, whether whoever it is you root for. So we're going to take an early break. When we come back, we should have DJ Lagway and Billy Napier. More Gator football from the SEC Media Day. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Jeff Prosser
Pitched 2 consecutive Little League championships,
on the drill
but are most likely to get slapped in his senior yearbook.
with Dan Hicken.
Once arrested for urinating on a moving vehicle, that is actually incredibly challenging.
Tell me. Weekday morning 6 to 10 on 1010XL.
Life is just so busy this time of year. Between work, the kids' games, family vacations, I need a yard hero to free up my weekends.
You mean somebody who does mowing and trimming?
Yeah.
How about mosquito control?
Yeah.
What about irrigation and pet waste removal?
You do that too? You're my lawn hero.
Find your lawn hero at heroeslawncare.com. Heroes Lawn Care, because every lawn needs a hero.
Santa Claus normally avoids Florida this time of year, but not this year. Christmas in July is happening right now at Beard's Diamonds. Get up to 40% off now through July 27th. Beard's showcases are stocked with all new fashion jewelry, exquisite colored gemstone pieces, and the best selection of diamonds in North Florida. Rounds, emerald cuts, princess cuts, cushion cuts, ovals, from a half carat to 10 carats and more. Come and find the perfect engagement ring now at Beard's and save up to 40%. Beard's Diamonds at the shops at Town Center and online at beardsdiamonds.com.
When you step into a courtroom, you're stepping into a fight. Someone wins, someone loses. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we've got the experience you want in your corner if you or a loved one suffer a personal injury or a wrongful death. We're here to fight for you. So if you get hit, hit back with Hastings Injury Law, offices Jacksonville. Find us on the web at 904hitback.com or call our 24-hour helpline, 904-HITBACK.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, visit AA Automotive on Richard Street. For oil changes to complex repairs, AA Automotive is a full-service repair shop for personal and commercial fleet vehicles. Trust AA to keep your ride running A-OK.
They were right. It could have waited. I can't believe it happened to me. Reaching to check my phone. Now my family has to hear that I'm never coming home again.
Officer?
I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
Every day, 9 people on Florida roadways don't make it home. I was one of the people that didn't make it home.
Ride with Do Not Disturb. Every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
The oldest and most prestigious golf tournament in the world.
It's been exciting to watch, I'll tell you what.
Follow the Open Championship on 1010XL. Channeled by 904 Gutters with a Z and topdressing.com.
Since 1901, generations of skilled union workers have built the backbone of our community. Hospitals, schools, the buildings where you work. Every year, a new apprentice class of Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians is stepping up, trained, driven, and ready to do great things. They're not just building our city, they're building their future. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to become a member or contractor today.
It's ET here, and did you know that slow speed accidents can still cause serious injuries? Ignoring minor pain today can mean big problems tomorrow. Don't wait. Call my guys at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center, the auto accident experts.
60 days from now, you'll be one of these two guys. The first guy, sluggish, foggy, and feeling like he just can't keep up like he used to. The second guy, driven, strong, and confident. Why? Male Excel's breakthrough microdosing protocol, a daily low-dose testosterone. You don't have to be the first guy anymore. Be the second guy. Take the same steps he took. Try MaleExcel.com. 100,000 men chose wisely. Your move.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass.
If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to our website, CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com. And let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is SEC College Football.
It's Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing SEC Media Days.
Brightened by Window World of Northeast Florida and Underwood Jewelers on 1010XL.
And we welcome you back, Frank Frangie, along with Matt Hayes. We come to this thing every year, and every year it's very interesting. I was surprised today, and DJ Lagway is going to walk over here in a minute, so we'll get it back to Gator football in just a second. But in the meantime, and I know Nick Saban's not here anymore. I also know we're not in Birmingham. But the Alabama,
other than that,
but yeah, there are those two things. There's just two little things, including that Saban thing. But the Alabama contingent that is usually so strong, there wasn't a big following for Alabama. That really surprised. Or Oklahoma. You made the point earlier. And SEC Media Days change every year, and the venue changes. But I found it interesting, Matt, that there wasn't the Alabama people falling all over themselves to interview Alabama. I thought, other than Arch Manning, DJ Lagway had more of a following than any player we've seen so far.
I think he had more than Arch, too.
He might have.
Yeah. I think it's part of it has to do with the fact that it's in Atlanta and it's not in Birmingham.
That's
where
right.
It's been for so long, and now it's rotating Nashville and Atlanta and Dallas last year, although according to Commissioner Sankey, it's clear what city they favor now.
Yeah. Well, you tried to get him to say.
He clearly likes Nashville.
You tried to get him to say.
He did say they were going back. It's just that they just don't know when.
Right. You said we're going to Nashville next year. He said, I didn't say that. But I do find it interesting that part of it's there's no Saban. Part of it is we're not in Birmingham. But I think, listen, it's only been a year or two, and they still won 9 games last year. It's way too early to say the luster's off for Alabama. It's only been 1 year without him, and in fairness to Kalen DeBoer, he just got there. But we watched it with Florida. We watched it with Spurrier. We watched it with Urban, and Florida became, I don't want to say irrelevant, but certainly not elite pretty quickly. They really did.
1 year.
Yeah, and so I wonder, I'll be interested to watch, what if Alabama goes 8-4 this year? I mean,
it's funny you should say, because I literally wrote today, it's at usatoday.com right now, has Alabama lost its mojo?
Yeah, well,
because you can kind of frame it any way you want it.
Right.
The reality is they lost to a Vanderbilt team for the first time in 40-something years.
Yeah.
A Vanderbilt team that's easily the worst in the league every single year.
Certainly the worst program in the league. Yeah. Certainly.
They lost by 21 at Oklahoma.
Yeah. So and certainly.
All right.
Yep. And
with the ability to get to the playoff.
Yeah. That's right. So and I think
those things can't happen.
So
those things don't happen.
It really is. So we are ready. I think Billy Napier's going to stop by right now. He has been making the round. So we're going to say. Well, I mean, you talk about on time now. Coach is on time now. This is what I would call on time. It is 4:30, and we've been promised. We'll probably have Coach Napier before we have DJ Lagway. So Billy Napier's making his way over here. We're going to say hello to the coach right now, who joins us live on the show. Billy, how are you? Good to see you.
Billy Napier.
We're going to put this headset on you right here, if you don't mind, Billy, and talk a little Gator football here as we continue along live from the SEC Media Days in Alabama. Good to see you. But this is live radio, by the way, so you walk right into the live show. How are you?
I'm great, man. I told him, I said, I'm not getting out of here without going to see the guys.
Billy's going to see the guys in Jacksonville. He's going to take care of us, so we appreciate it. How are you? Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm doing good. How about you guys?
We are doing great, Billy. It's great to see you. And I will tell you, I'm excited about this for you. Matt and I were talking about it earlier. Sometimes it takes 4 years. Man, I think you got a good team. Do you feel the roster? I mean, like at every spot. Do you feel good about the roster? Like I think I do.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with them every day.
Yeah.
So I think The good thing is I think we've kind of evolved and learned what we need to go toe-to-toe in this league. You know,
Yeah.
I think as each year you learn a little bit about what type of personnel you need, the brand of football that you need to play, and then how to get in a rhythm and get the team in the right place to go compete. And I think last year, the most important piece here is just the confidence, the belief level that we could play with anybody. And I think last year you kind of saw that. And then it was like, hey, this is working. You know, so let's do some more. You know, so, we got good kids. We don't have a lot of riffraff, no distractions.
Yeah.
You know, I think guys are doing the right things off the field. And, it's a good-looking group, man. I was around them yesterday, and I'm excited. I think we learned a lot last year, and I think got a bunch coming back.
Bill, you guys have been so close over the last couple of years to like really breaking through. The game at Missouri, the game in Tallahassee, the Georgia game last year. If DJ doesn't get hurt, you guys win that game. I mean, do you see it now? Is the momentum there? Do you see, and do the guys believe they're there now?
Yeah, I think that's probably what I would say is they come to work every day with confidence that what we're doing, how we're doing it, it's working for them, right? And I think they see them, you know, they see multiple players are growing as people, you know, making progress. The academic part is working. I think the Gatorade program, you know, just good, sound, general development. And then the football piece is working for guys getting drafted, guys going to the NFL, guys getting recognized preseason. So, you know, a lot of these guys that we're playing with have been in the program for a couple years now, and I think we got a chance to have a bunch get drafted next year. So, you know, I think we tried to build it in a way that we could, once we do get it established, we can sustain it. And I think our roster's layered pretty good at about every position right now.
Billy, there's as much excitement about DJ Lagway and Gator Nation as there's been a player in a long time. Mm-hmm. What makes him special? First of all, is he healthy? Everyone's asking that question.
He'll be ready to go. Yeah.
What makes him special?
Yeah, I think I would just say in general the way he's handled the recognition, the achievement, the success. I think he's mature enough and has enough of a foundation from a values perspective that he has stayed the same. You know, he stayed grounded. It's not too big for him. He continues to treat people the right way. He's a good example. I think he's not material driven. I think he's got some perspective on life. Obviously, he's super talented, but the one thing I would say is he's so consumed with improvement. I mean, the guy just wakes up every day trying to get better, you know. So he's a great competitor on game day, and he's still a young player, man. I mean, this guy has a chance to continue to grow and get better and even play. I mean, he could be really, really good and played well last year, but I think there's more out in front of him, and he would tell you the same.
Bill, you guys, I don't think this is any, breaking any news here. You guys were a different team with him a quarterback. Mm-hmm. He made some throws last year in some of those games with arm angle and release, and you're like, wow. That's like, you expect a lot more of that, obviously, but how much of a difference can he be? Yeah, I think the plays that the unannounced plays are the ones that are, you know, where he's a little Marvel character. You know, he kind of goes into Marvel mode, but it's a great way to put it, actually. You know, like the Florida State when the guys got him sacked and he stiff arms a 6'6", 300-pound defensive
Cam
line.
Jackson, an NFL player. He's going to be an NFL player.
Yeah, guy's a really good player.
Yeah.
You know, I think the one against LSU where he kind of reset up in there and
drop down.
Threw the badge. A couple of those at Ole Miss where he's in the pocket and they're hanging on him. I mean, some of those are the ones that those are the ones you can't coach, you know. But he does a great job operating within the system. He's got good command. he's going to keep getting better.
Billy Napier with us talking Gator football. The offensive line obviously returned a bunch of guys. I think you got the best running back room in the conference, if not the country. Let me ask you about your receivers. You've done such a good job of bringing in portal receivers over the years, Pearsall, and then Shim, and then Badger. You brought in J. Mike Sturdivant, but you also have young receivers.
Yeah.
Now it's a track team; they can fly, but they're young. Will it be different having younger receivers? How do you feel about that room?
Yeah, I do think there'll be some growing pains with some of those guys that haven't played a lot. But I think that's why we brought J. Mike in to give us a little veteran presence there. K-Jack is coming back from injury.
Right.
Trey Wilson. No one's talking about Trey Wilson.
I know.
That's a good player.
That's a good point.
He's a good player, man.
Yeah.
He can fly. So getting him back will be a big deal. And then, then you got all this group of year two guys, Mizell, Tank Hawkins, T.J. Abrams. Do they make a big jump? And then here comes the rookies, Dallas Wilson, Vernell Brown III, Nashawn Montgomery, Muiz Tonkara. So, I think for me, we got enough steady, like J. Mike, Mizell, Trey. They played in some big games while we're growing up those rookies. But rookie receivers can impact your team. It's not like playing left guard in the SEC as a rookie. Playing receiver, you can. That's a role you can get going pretty quick. If you think back to Trey Wilson as a true freshman, we were able to get him in a rhythm. He wasn't even mid-year. So I think receiver, we're built. We have to have the ability for a year one skill player to change the game. You've got to be built that way. And we have been. I think Vernell and Dallas, they're mature enough. Nashawn even. I think they're smart, mature, and can handle the workload and be ready to play as rookies.
Billy, last 2 years we've heard schedule. It's a very difficult schedule. I always think back to what Steve Spurrier used to say, we don't have to play them, they have to play us.
Yeah.
Are you selling that to your team now, and are they feeding off that?
Yeah, I'm kind of over it. I think we played them all. I mean, we've been – they're all human. I put a little deal out last night, spot the ball,
I saw that.
Right.
It's just a message to the team.
I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, I said Billy's got a little boat up there. I kind of liked it.
I just think that, look, we'll play the games this fall. Okay, I know everybody wants to talk about our schedule. Our schedule's not much different than every team in this league. We happen to play Miami and Florida State. We'll see how good they are this year. So, look, we're to a point now where our guys think they can do it. That's half the battle. So, yeah, let's go play, man. It's about that time.
How do you feel about your defense? It seems like for the first time now you've got a lot of guys that have played. And when Castell got there 2 years ago, he never played. Now he's a veteran safety. There's a lot of guys like that. If you look around your roster, there's a lot of guys that got there and had to play that have now played a lot of football, right?
That's right. Yeah, defense. If you really dig into the details of why we turned it around, we played better defense.
Yeah. Right.
Starting at Central Florida, we played winning football on defense. We kept the score under control. We created takeaways. We created havoc. TFL sack. We affected the other team's quarterback. And then we played good red zone defense and forced field goals. And the scores were under control. Now, we went to Texas. That was an outlier, But I think, you think about UCF, Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia, LSU, Ole Miss, Florida State, Tulane. I mean, we played good enough on defense. And look, even the old head ball coach would tell you, if you want to win it all, you got to be good on defense, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think we're no different, And I think we got a chance to be pretty good on defense. I'm excited about
part of that because defense, you play a lot of guys. I mean, Aaron Childs might not start. Cormani McLean might not start. I mean, when you have a lot of good players that aren't starting, I mean that's part of it, right? In defense, for sure.
Yeah. Don't forget, you're going to need the depth in this league.
Yeah.
They're going to get banged up. They're going to miss a week. All of a sudden you're two and guy gets banged up he's out for 2 weeks. You're the starter.
Yeah.
So the competitive depth, and then the accountability that comes from practice. You know, you got to show up and compete and keep your job every day.
Right, you're gonna lose your job,
There's
right?
nobody can get comfortable. And then iron sharpens iron. So that practice environment is very competitive. So, yeah, I mean, I think you guys are spot on. We got to go do it when it's time, you know, and I think we are getting ready to get in the submarine and go under the water.
That's right.
And we got to get our team ready to compete and play really good.
All right, we know you got to run one more. You're a very measured guy, okay? I think you think something right now. Like, you guys are going to be a lot better than people think you are. Would you agree with that?
You know, I think nobody really expects much of us right now, you know. So, you know, maybe we're a little better than people think. We're going to find out. You know, we play the best of the best, you know. So it is a challenge worth pursuing is what I would say, right? So, and I like the group I'm going to battle with, you know.
Yep.
I like being around them. I like I like the staff. I think we hired some really good young coaches on defense. Ron Roberts is kind of finding his rhythm. You know, he did a great job turning it around on defense last year, and then special teams. Joe Houston is exceptional, and yeah, it's always good when you got a good O-line, a good quarterback, good runners.
It's a good
Deep
situation.
receivers.
It's a good situation to be in.
So
a defense that's surging. You guys are right.
Got to go do it. Got to go do it. You know, and we got to be ready early because we got to play on the road. You know, right out of the box. So, you know, I think Long Island, and then here comes South Florida. You know, they'll be chomping at the bit, and then got to go on the road early. So this is the type of team that I think can handle that. We just got to – it's going to be about execution.
Billy Napier, the Florida football coach. I know you got a lot to do. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Absolutely.
Good luck this year. We sure appreciate it.
Thank you, Billy.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Billy Napier, the Florida football coach. I think we're going to bring DJ right back in, and we're going to keep going live here. And from one star to the next, if we can bring DJ – going to stop by here for a second. I think we're going to bring DJ – you guys, so we're going to bring DJ over here real quick here. Billy, thank you again. And so let's, we sure appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time, man. We really do. DJ, we're going to bring you on over here from Coach Napier to DJ Live. We're going to put this headset on you, DJ, if you don't mind, right there.
Good, man.
Frank Frangie, nice to meet you. How are you?
DJ, looking good.
Yeah, he look. DJ's
sharp.
He's got the. All right, we're going to put that headset on you right there. Thanks to Billy Napier. Now let's say hello to the quarterback. DJ Lively, that is a sweet suit. Okay,
appreciate you, boss.
You
Thank
look good, man.
Thank you. Feel good too.
How you doing all right?
Yes, sir.
You having fun here?
I'm enjoying.
You had a big crowd, man. I watched you walk through here, and
it was that big. For real?
It was big.
It was bigger than anybody here this week.
Yeah, So it's nice to meet you for the first time. I've heard a lot of good things about you. The obvious question: are you healthy?
Oh, feeling great.
There's talk about shoulder and everything. Take us through that. Healthy, good to go, pretty.
Feeling great, just ready to play ball. That's it.
Yeah. You've probably only been asked that question 100 times today.
Oh man, 101.
All right, let me take you back to early November last year. You hurt the hamstring.
Yeah.
If you're gonna hurt that hamstring, could you guys have beaten Georgia? Would the season been again completely different at that point?
Yeah, you know, I definitely feel like we had a chance to, you know, but everything happens for a reason. You know, it didn't play out for a reason, but next year it's gonna be a whole new story.
DJ, talk about your football team a little bit. Obviously, the whole offensive line's back.
For sure.
I think it's the best running back room maybe in the country.
Yep.
You got some young receivers. The people around you, give me an assessment of them and how you feel about that group.
Yeah, you kind of pretty touched all of it, you know, like what you just named off. Like, we got a lot of great guys in the building, like a lot of good players and then played a lot of valuable snaps. And, you know, and we got a lot of young guys, too, that can come in and play right away. And I feel like that's huge for our team and for our culture, you know, to continue to have it going.
The confidence of the second half of last season, how important is that moving forward now?
Oh, it's vital. You know, and I feel like my teammates and everybody around us knows how that feels and don't want to lose anymore because we know what winning feels like. And I feel like that's all it takes is when you know what it feels like and you taste it, you're going to do whatever it takes to get back to that. So I feel like it's great.
DJ, how hard is it playing knowing you were hurt as bad as you were? You had the big thing on your leg. You Sure. I mean, take us through that. It's got to be frustrating. You got to be thinking these people aren't really seeing the real me. What was that like?
I'd say the whole season, like I felt like it was frustrating because I wasn't able to be myself, play my game, because I had the shoulder thing going a little bit in the before the season even started, but I just feel like I'm just excited to get out there feeling good, feeling healthy, feeling strong, just go out there and play and just showcase my abilities, And at the end of the day, my strength coach always used to say, find a way to win. Winners find a way to win. You got to find a way. And that kind of carried me on. So, yeah.
So full go, DJ Lagway, no injuries, healthy the whole season. Team, how far can this team go?
Our team can go as far as we allow it to go. If we play our brand of football, and that's being tough, being resilient, being strong, and refusing to lose, then the sky's the limit.
I was here. I watched Tebow come through here.
Yes,
I know you and Danny Worth will come through. We had Danny on today. Everybody's talking about you, and you know that. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. You know that DJ is. Everyone's talking about DJ. How do you stay grounded? How do you keep from letting it go to your head? How do you make sure you keep your teammates not from getting jealous for all the attention you get? Take me through that process.
Yeah, I just say kind of the way I was raised. I feel like my whole life has kind of been in the limelight just growing up. From a small town in Willis, and it just kind of gradually got bigger and bigger each and every year. And, I'm thankful for it. What God gives. He gives what you can handle. And I feel like God has entrusted me to handle all this responsibility, all this expectations, and I feel like I know he doesn't make any mistakes. So I just got to go out there and continue to stay humble, continue to work hard, and continue to trust in my teammates and my coaches, and everything will work out for itself.
So I'm sure you had other schools coming after you this year.
For sure.
How do players veer away from that and think, all right, I got to stay where I am. I got to stay where grow where I've been rooted?
For sure. I'm an old school cat. So, I kind of, even going to Willis High School where I'm from, we weren't a winning program or whatsoever, but I wanted to build that up. And my whole thing is leaving a program better than I found it. And I feel like I left Willis better than I found it, and I potentially hope to leave Florida better than I found it, and on fourth, God willing. So that's just kind of my goal. And, I like to build things up from the ground up, and I feel like that's why me and Coach Napier get along so well, because he has that same mantra.
So never thought of leaving then?
No, sir, never have.
Yeah.
No.
Final question, and I've asked all the Gators. I've asked Caleb this, I've asked Jake this, I'm going to ask you this.
Cool.
Florida was elite for a long time.
For sure.
Hasn't been elite for a while.
Yep.
What would it mean, particularly in your position, but for all of you guys, to be the group that brought Florida back to relevance and to being an elite program again?
Oh, it'd be great. And that's the goal. That's what we work every day for. That's what we get up in the morning and sweat and have blood and tears, for that moment. And the fans deserve it as well, so that's kind of our whole thing right now.
DJ Lagway, it's a pleasure to meet you. I've heard great things about you, and you're a stand-up for guys I knew you would be. We really appreciate you stopping by.
Go Gators.
Go Gators. That is DJ Lagway, the Florida quarterback. We've heard so much good stuff about the DJ, and we appreciate him stopping by and spending some time with us. Billy Napier as well, coming by and spending some time. This is Gator Day, and certainly we had a chance to meet with all those Gators. Before we go to break, boy, I was impressed. I knew I would be. I'd heard so much about him. You can't imagine the attention he got today. Jacob, our photog and I were walking around. I think he got more attention than Arch Manning.
There's no doubt.
I think it was more than Arch.
He had the most of anyone here.
So there's still one more day to go, but I can tell you, no player got asked more questions, had a bigger crowd around his scrum, if you will.
I would agree with that.
Than DJ Lagway did, and so that stood out. Another thing I want to unpack a little bit before we break here. Billy Napier, a little bowed up. I love it. Could you tell that?
Well, that's what I asked him.
He's tired of hearing about the schedule.
He knows something, man. I'm telling you right now, he knows something.
He's fed up with the schedule. Did you see his tweet, by the way, the spot the ball?
Yeah.
So he brought it up. If you weren't listening, Billy brought up the spot the ball. He said, I don't know if you guys saw it. I kind of tweeted spot the ball because he's fed up. He's saying, God dang, okay, schedule. The schedule's terrible. The schedule. He's like, God dang. Let's go play, okay? If our schedule's
Plus
so tough.
the way he's talking, talking about how he's got 5 and 6 receivers deep, and he's got a great offensive line, and that's how it works with the offensive line. You got a quarterback, and you see his eyes start to sparkle, and I'm thinking, all right, he knows something, man.
And here's the question. Let's be honest.
He hasn't been like that, by the way. The last few years.
We do it. We see him every year, and I see him in the spring too. And I'll say this, Matt, he's The question about Florida, and he's a smart guy, he knows this, has been about him. The question has been about Billy. They know it's a good roster. They know DJ's going to be special. Can Billy bring this team to the level that Spurrier and Urban and everyone brought him to?
Correct.
And, well, he ain't worried about that because it's him. So he knows the other pieces are in place. But I've interviewed him. I don't know him particularly well, but I've interviewed Billy now. I've interviewed Billy a bunch of times. This is, I don't know, 15 times we've had him on the program. That is again, maybe boat up's the wrong phrase, but it's
as confident.
Confident and what's the word? Confident and he's almost the guy.
Yeah, a little swagger.
He's almost the guy in the bar fight. That someone across the bar has been talking to him, and that he's almost the guy said, "Well, let's go outside and go." Then didn't you sense that? It was almost like, okay, well, let's go then. If our schedule's so tough and people don't think much of us, well, then let's go. We'll see it. By the way, we'll see if it's right.
Right. It could be 7-5 or 6-6.
Right, he may be wrong.
Right,
but it was really interesting hearing that that's kind of where he is. So,
but I also felt the same kind of confidence from Jake Slaughter.
I did too.
From Sapp.
Yeah.
From Lagway. Like those guys definitely, and it wasn't like that the last couple of years.
But
man.
you know the best part,
wasn't.
He was more bowed up than the players.
Yeah, he definitely was.
He's ready to go. So we'll see how good Florida. We'll see if it's real or not. Gator Day today, and we'll continue Gator Day, by the way, with some Gators from before. Our friend Danny Werfel does such great work with the Werfel Foundation and with Desire Street. He's done a fantastic job about that. So let's take a break. When we come back, let's say hello to our buddy Danny Werfel, one of the great Gators of all time. I've known Danny a long time. He does a terrific work. We're at the SEC Media Days in Atlanta. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is the place for Jaguars football.
Your AFC South champs, baby.
1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
Hi, folks. I'm Frangie, and I got to tell you, I can't fix anything. I would be so lost with plumbing problems if not for Duck Duck Rooter. But everybody knows to call the Duck. Well, I do too. Whether it's plumbing, air conditioning, septic, they handle all of it, and nobody does a better job than our friends at Duck Duck Rooter. Any of those needs you have, call them today, 904-862-6769, or go to duckduckrooter.com. If you've got problems, call Duck Duck Rooter. They'll handle it. I guarantee it.
I'm Holt Harrell with Harrell & Harrell. Choosing a law firm after an accident is an important decision. So how do you decide? With so many messages on air, I know it can all sound the same. At Harrell & Harrell, we believe what sets us apart is our commitment to you. When you've been injured in an accident, you need help from someone you know, someone you can trust. Harrell & Harrell, a name you know, a name you trust. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Offices, Jacksonville.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
Hi, folks. Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. If you need a game plan for the weekend, I'll tell you my takes for some of the weekend's best options. 1010XL's Dan Hicken here. Watch for Musings with the Media Mogul on YouTube and Facebook. Turned On by Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hacker here, and I want to tell you one of my favorite things about Awaken 180 weight loss, and that's the personalized coaching that you get with Awaken 180. Now, a lot of weight loss programs, they'll give you some plan off their website, and they'll say, all right, have fun, see you later. Not Awaken 180 weight loss. Prime example of that, my coach Kate. I've had phone calls with my coach Kate over a year now, every single week. She's been advising me, she's been guiding me, she's been motivating me, and as a result of that, I'm down well over 100 pounds. I'm on the maintenance program now. The coaching you get with Awaken 180 helps you reach your goal. It is absolutely sensational, and it separates Awaken 180 weight loss. Do what I did. If it's time for you to lose weight like it was for me, go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com, or call 844-346-1800. Take it from me. If I can do it, you can do it. Get involved with Awaken 180 weight loss.
1010XL is excited to support an evening of all-star fun as comedian David Spade joins MC and Gator basketball great Patrick Young to induct Olympic swimmers Nancy Hogshead and Ryan Murphy, golf legend Jim Furyk, and the iconic Lizard King into the Sawyer Sports Foundation's Jacksonville Sports Hall of Fame, presented by the Nimnick family of dealerships. Saturday, July 26th at the Community First Igloo. For single ticket and table sponsorship, go to JacksonvilleIceman.com.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Summertime is busy with graduation parties, summer barbecues, festivities, family gatherings. The month of July, National Carpet Cleaning Month. So Zero Res is offering $45 per room of carpet clean and 20% off air duct cleaning services as well. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com or call them 287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spelled backwards or forwards, it spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, brought to you by TopDressing.com. Tomorrow, the final major championship of the year begins, the 153rd Open Championship at Royal Portrush in Northern Ireland. The last time the Open was held at Portrush was in 2019, when it was the Irishman Shane Lowry who took the title. World number 3 Xander Schauffele is the defending champion golfer of the year for one more day, as the field looks to pry the claret jug from his hands. In some Summer League news, the Orlando Magic fell to the Oklahoma City Thunder last night. However, their top Summer League performers, including first-round pick Jace Richardson, second-round pick Noah Penda, and Tristan Da Silva, all did not play due to rest. Golden State Warriors second-round pick Will Richard pieced together a nice performance in their win over Memphis Grizzlies last night with 12 points, 2 boards in 23 minutes. It's 89 degrees at 5 o'clock time in Temp, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Bringing SEC football to you. It's Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing SEC Media Days. Enhanced by Lucas Tree Service and Florida Pest Control on 1010XL.
All right, welcome back to the SEC Media Days from Atlanta. Frank Frangie along with Matt Hayes. What a pleasure to welcome in our buddy Danny Werfel, who joins us. Danny, how are you?
I'm doing great. It's always good to be with you, Frank. You've been doing this a long time.
I've been doing it a long time, Danny. I was doing well before you were playing. That's how long I've been doing
wow.
it. But it's a wow moment. Great. You're always in good shape.
I thought I was old.
Well, we're both old, Danny, but you're in great shape. You're always in good shape.
I appreciate it. like many other Americans, I've become addicted to the fastest-growing sport of pickleball. And compete pretty high level, and that keeps me active and busy, and I love it.
Danny's in great shape, Matt, but he doesn't wear the schmediums that Dorian wears. Dorian's got the schmediums on, so you don't. So there's not that. So, what's going on? Tell me about the foundation. You've been very involved in. I want to talk Gator football and a whole lot of that with you, but I want to start with the foundation. You've really leaned into Desire Street for a long time, haven't you? Tell us about how that whole thing is going.
Yeah, well, Desire Street is doing great. We're continuing to work in under-resourced neighborhoods all over the South. We just finished a 5-year plan of working in 20 different neighborhoods, and we're planning the next 5 years right now. So that's going great. Separately at the Werfel Foundation and the Werfel Trophy, we've been honoring college athletes, in an era where so much kind of seems like it's about me and about mine and about my money and the transfer portal. There's a group, a whole bunch of folks that are doing great work as teammates, but then also as community members and community service. So the Werfel Trophy for years has been honoring that. And then last year, we partnered with Allstate, the AFCA Good Works team, to kind of combine their program to make that one. So you kind of have like the All-American team of Good Works, and you sort of have like the Heisman Trophy of Good Works, being the Allstate Werfel Trophy, and it's been fantastic. We've got a record number of years of nominees this year, and just doing phenomenally great stuff.
I think that gets lost sometimes. There's a lot of good young dudes out there that do this type of work, but all anybody sees right now with players is NIL, is money, is changing teams year to year. There are a lot of good dudes out there, right?
Yeah, usually it's just the world we live in. If like you're the best player on the best team, you get a story, or if you do something really dumb, you get a story.
Right.
But our mission with Allstate, AFCA, Werfel Foundation is to find those stories and tell those stories, and that's why I really love this partnership. 118 nominees for the Allstate Werfel Trophy, 197 for the Good Works team, because that's in multiple divisions. And, just so many great stories. I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about DJ Lagway and his passes and his electricity as a leader. But, you don't know he's working with Special Olympics. He works with a really cool program there called Made for More that I've been a part of. And he started his own foundation and gave a whole bunch of money to support women's athletics. So,
that's awesome.
You don't always get to hear that part of his story. Yeah. Michael Taff at Texas went through a terrible tragedy. One of his closest friends died of a fentanyl overdose. And so part of his efforts is to create awareness through his foundation to help other people avoid some of those pitfalls and understand what's going on with fentanyl, especially in the state of Texas. So just great stuff all around the board, and we get to honor those guys.
Danny, DJ's here today. People haven't really gotten to know him yet because he hasn't gone into the season as a starting quarterback yet. So we're going to get to know DJ a little bit. I think the whole Gator Nation is. Tell me a little bit about him. Obviously, he cares about other people, the humanitarian side, but how did you meet him? How did you find out that he was that committed? I know he's the candidate or the nominee from Florida. Tell me more about him.
Yeah, well, I got to meet him when he was in high school and was visiting Florida, kind of on the sideline or, kind of in those pre-games. And I also got to meet his dad. And, you can usually tell a lot about somebody by their family. And this is an outstanding family, high quality, high character. There's a lot of reasons and a lot of times where people could have tried to tell him, hey, you shouldn't be here. You need to transfer. You need to go somewhere else. This isn't where, and yet he's been very faithful and loyal to Florida, loves Coach Napier. And so I just really respect him a lot as a young man. We've met a few different times, and for the first time we had to figure out who's going to pay for breakfast because I think he made more money than I ever made in the NFL. So anyway, he's a great young man.
So conversely, on the other side of the athletic side, you've been around a lot of elite offenses, elite quarterbacks. What did you think of him his first year? He was doing stuff, I think, that people really didn't understand he could do or think he could do. He looked phenomenal at times last year.
Yeah, when you think about the development of a quarterback, you really, from young and all the way, or as a freshman, it's like, okay, we need to get your steps right. We need to get your reads right. We need to kind of work on the different throws. And then you hope that over time they can kind of develop some of these other X factor stuff. Well, he kind of came in the opposite. He's like, his footwork's all over the place, and he's just throwing darts down the field in the key moments of these games. It's like, wait, he's got like the he's got the end game already. Now, as we build in the fundamentals, as he gets a year under his belt with Coach Napier's offense, which is not simple for a quarterback to run compared to a lot of offenses. It's a lot of nomenclature and movements and shifts and verbiage. And so the more comfortable he gets with that, and then you add the weapons at receiver this year, it could be really electric. You got a really good line coming back, so we're really excited about this year.
Danny, how do you feel about where the game's gone? As you pointed out, I've done this a long time. I was in college when everybody ran the wishbone and the veer, right? And then in the 80s, it was the I formation and the sprint draw, right? And then this guy, Steve Spurrier, came along in 1990, and all of a sudden Florida's throwing the football down the field. Nobody can cover him. Now we got RPOs and spread. Do you like where the game's gone? How do you feel about football today?
Yeah, I mean, I love the iterations of offense and defense and strategy. That thrills me. And, to figure out what are you trying to do and how can I attack that. I saw an old clip of Spurrier just yesterday where he said, this was as a young man. He's like, well, if there was one perfect defense, everybody would play it. But, there's not. And every defense has some kind of weakness. And so you're trying to attack the weakness. And they're trying to so I know what you know that I know, and I know what you know. And so I love that part of the game. I think that the part that has me concerned, like a lot of people, is sort of the way NIL was introduced, which where it really wasn't even NIL, the way the transfer portal just made it the Wild West. And then really the lack of transparency around the whole thing. And so that was highly concerning for me. But I think that each year there's steps that are being made to kind of rein that in. I'm supportive of players getting paid. I think that's a fair thing. But just to do it in a way that's transparent, the way that's structured, the way that has some accountability both ways, I think is where we're headed, and I'm excited about that.
So you were last year here, we were here, you were a big fan of Billy Napier. You said, I think if he gets the time, it's really going to develop here. He's building it organically the way he should be built. Are they there now, you think, to where this season could be a very big season?
Well, I think it needs to be. I think, it's a really remarkable to me, the turnaround at the end of last year. I think especially, when we talk about transfer portals, NIL, me first kind of mentality, it works when you're winning. You can have a whole bunch of people get along when you're winning. And as soon as you start losing, it falls apart fast. I've been on a lot of NFL teams and different teams where, once you start losing, to hold a culture together, to rebound, especially at the lowest point of that Texas game, and then to finish the way they finished was truly remarkable. And I think that reflects on Billy Napier as a coach and as a culture builder. I think he is an outstanding head coach of a football team. I think he really cares about the young men, and that reflects on it. And so all those things I think are just absolutely fantastic. I think the main question is, is he the ultimate answer as an offensive coordinator? And that's he's betting on that,
right?
And that's his choice to do. Not many people are doing that anymore as a head coach. As good as Kirby Smart is at defense. So I think that's the thing that we'll see this year, how it plays out. Because we've got the players, we've got the weapons, and let's go score a lot of points.
Do you have an opinion on that? Because I hear you, and listen, you summed it up right. Everybody likes Billy. He's a good dude. He cares about kids. We all know that. But there has been some questions about his sideline acumen, and we all know that. Are you confident as a Gator alum, as a fan, as a guy wearing that orange and blue tie, that he can be good at all that?
I mean, I think it's hard for anybody to be good at that. So yeah, I do. Think how Spurrier, and I hope he doesn't hear this, but he wasn't figuring out how to wisely use a timeout. He was an offensive coordinator. If he didn't get the plan in time, he had to use the timeout. But he wasn't thinking about the game theory. He wasn't thinking about how's this play going to affect the defense. He's just doing his job as offensive coordinator. So I think it's hard for any one person to do all that. I think they've changed some responsibilities this year. I think that'll help. But time will tell. But I think he is an absolutely rock star as a head football coach, and I'm glad we have him.
Who do you think the closest guy in college football now is to Spurrier as far as a coach? You've seen a lot of these guys. Who do you think's the closest?
I mean, Lane Kiffin is pretty creative on offense. I like Steve Sarkisian as well. In fact, I saw him yesterday, and went to say hi, and he's watching his phone, watching ESPN to see where the number one linebacker recruit was going to commit. And he's like hoping, like, I think we're getting him, but I don't know. You never know. And it's like, man, I'm glad that's not my life. I have to wait wait on that. But, I didn't get to see the guy a lot, and his name escapes me, but was it Indiana?
Signetti.
Yeah, Signetti. Yeah. What they did was remarkable. I don't know. I hadn't really studied their offense, but those are a few names that are doing well. And of course, Lincoln Riley's had tremendous success with quarterbacks.
Dan, it's funny you said that about Sarkisian. I had Kirby Smart on at the same time, and that's who they were battling. He had the same phone. I mean, we're interviewing Kirby, and he's got the phone trying to find us. So
Steve said, I hope Kirby's not on the phone with him right now, the kid right now.
Yeah. And he had the phone. So, all right, final thing, we'll let you go. And then I want to wrap with the Werfel Foundation, but I got to ask you this. What moment stands out the most in those 4 years? 52-20 is what stands out for the fans, but for you, there was so much. There's 4 SEC titles. There's a national title. There's another national title game. There's a Heisman Trophy. I'm asking you who's your favorite kid. I get that, but what moment stands out?
There were a lot of amazing moments. I think looking back, I think I just saw Chris Doring standing over there. Yeah, I can see him now. Yeah. Like the relationships with guys like that. Yeah. Is really what stands out the most, and to reflect on times together. And but if you're talking about games, I had an interesting sort of bookend to my career. It wasn't the very first moment, but the first game I really played much was the Kentucky game where we threw the pass to Doring to win. And then the last game I played was just, like the ending. If that senior season was a movie, you wouldn't believe it because it was too perfect. You're number one, you're great. You lose to your rival, you got no chance to win the title, and then you get a rematch with your rival and you blow them out. It's like I pinched myself to think that game actually happened, and we beat Florida State for the national title.
You know what's funny is you had to beat Alabama that year, too, and everybody forgets all about that.
Yeah.
In the SEC championship game.
Yeah, that was big.
Doring and I talk about this a lot. I was doing the pay-per-view. I was doing the pre and post on the pay-per-view with Vittel on the Doring's got a touchdown game. And we're in the end zone. I've told Chris knows the story. I don't know if I've ever told you the story. So we're sitting there. David Steele's on the call. Mick's got the radio call. David's got the TV call. Larry and I've got the post game. And we're sitting in the end zone, behind the end zone, trying to figure out how to tell Gator fans about this loss. This loss, threw a bunch of interceptions, lost to Kentucky. And I'm not. And as Larry's kind of preparing this, I'm looking up, and the ball's in the air. We're in that end zone. The ball's in the air, and Chris is behind the guy. And I'm going, Larry. We're gonna have to change.
Yeah, change the script.
I think we're okay here. So true story. And I'm watching the ball, so I remember that one as well.
Well, I was supposed to go to Jack Jackson on the sideline. He called 4 verticals, and he said hit B, and I was gonna do that, but the safety started rolling over because I had tried that earlier.
Okay.
So I just pumped and threw it down the middle, and I can't believe they're in that coverage. I'm sure they wish they
probably wish they were as well.
Too.
Danny Werfel, one of the great players in college football history. I really mean that, and you're one all-time good dude. The Werfel Foundation really recognizes college people who are doing good things. Danny, congratulations on that. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, guys.
Right, back in a moment from the SEC Media Days after this.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. When it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Making radio in Jacksonville more fun.
All of Jumanji, thanks you.
Because you can use a little more fun in your day. 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. This Saturday is our monthly card show inside Showtime from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Beat the heat this Saturday while looking at sports cards or even Pokemon cards. With nearly 20 tables of vendors this Saturday at Showtime, Sports Cards and Collectibles. Update your collection.
Here's Linda Beaver.
The dog days of summer are here, and so are the hottest deals of the year. Whether you're hauling down the street, cruising on the beach, or just escaping the heat, we have the ride you're looking for and the wow you experience you deserve. Save big on select models with sizzling summer savings, low financing, and limited time bonus cash on all trades. So don't sweat it. Come beat the heat at Beaver Automotive, where the summer deals will wow you.
This is Mark Nato. My sons and I have seen the doctors and PAs at Southeast Ortho for everything from lumbar spine stress to elbow tendonitis. Southeast has always been there, been truthful, and always been on point. Everything they say happens. We can't thank them enough for what they've done and the great care that they have taken of our sons.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. As temperatures warm up around us, ants come out in droves. And when they move into your home or business, it's unnerving. Terminix knows that ants add up fast. But Terminix subtracts them faster because living with ants isn't any fun. When ants show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with an ant problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
This summer, you can beat the heat at Best Bet, your premier poker destination. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a first-time card player, you'll find a cool retreat from the summer heat with thrilling games, big payouts, and refreshing drinks. Join us for an unforgettable experience. Cool off and cash in at Best Bet. The stakes are high, the cards are hot, and your chance for fun is guaranteed. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com.
When you want to be heard, send your opinion to the 1010XL text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures.
Thank you for believing in me when the bosses didn't give me a chance.
641-1010. No texting and driving. Get your thoughts heard on 1010XL.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and Triumph has branched off from on-road to off-road. Give us the latest on what they've got.
They've got the 250 and the 450. Rick Carmichael designed these bikes himself, and they are bad to the bone.
So you're talking about a really cool effect from a bike off-road that Triumph had on-road forever.
It is, and it's out there winning races, and it is fun to ride.
Check it out, Cycles of Jacksonville, their showroom on Atlantic near Regency, or online on their Facebook page.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, buddy. Why so glum?
Stinky ice cubes, Jason. It's all downhill from here.
What?
The tap water in my place smells kind of funky. Funky tap water makes funky ice cubes. I meet a nice girl, invite her back to my place for a cocktail, and blow my whole romantic gesture with a mojito that smells like dog's feet.
Wait, I can totally make you way cooler.
I'm not taking your charity ice cubes, Jason. I have my pride.
Your pride is safe. Our plumbers can be at your house the day you call and install a whole home water purification system. Water tastes better, dishes come out cleaner, even your hair feels better after you shower.
Ooh, the ladies love a man with soft hair, don't they, Jason?
Life moves pretty fast. If you spend every day worried about the water in your own home, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Football season is almost here, so before it arrives, I'm going to get my home organized. Lauren Brooks here. Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, anywhere that needs to be organized. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off during the month of July. Call 878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
I-9 Sports covers the First Coast with all kinds of sports for kids ages 3 to 17. Fall and winter registration is open right now, like girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of co-ed programs in the Tri-County area to keep your kids active. And being part of a team creates great camaraderie and commitment. Year-round sports all across the First Coast. St. John's, Duval, and Clay, sign up now for the fall and winter. It's all at i9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount. That's i9sports.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. kicking off another college football season.
Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, SEC Media Days.
Teed up by Pine Royale Golf Club and 904 Gutters with a Z on 1010XL.
All right, we are live here at the SEC Media Days at the College Football Hall of Fame here in Atlanta. And I tell people all the time, if you're a college football fan and you haven't been here yet, well, shame on you. You need to get here because it is really a spectacular place. I mean, I'm sitting there looking at the Joe Burrow Walter Camp Player of the Year Award from 2019. And it's beautiful. I mean, we've had so many players on and so many interviews and coaches and that we haven't really waxed poetic enough about all this, Matt. The Hall of Fame, it's a truly beautiful Hall of Fame. It really is. We take it for granted because we're doing shows here.
Yeah, I think if you've never been to this place and you've never seen the history of what they've got in here, you'd love it. You'd absolutely love it. It's definitely a bucket list thing, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean,
and if you're a Jags fan, they've got a little separate case here for Travis Hunter's
they do,
campaign of last year with his white jersey, white helmet, his gloves that he wore during the game. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's definitely pretty cool.
Our friend Chris Doring from SEC Network is going to join us in just a minute, so we'll say hello to Chris in just a second. You are going to hear from Caleb Banks, the one player, Florida player you haven't heard from later on in the program. Tomorrow, by the way, the Greg Sankey interview. You have not heard it yet on our program. You heard it on Helmets and Heels. We did it. Lauren was kind enough to give us a little time to do it live on Helmets and Heels, so we did that. But you will hear the full Greg Sankey interview. If you did not hear it, you can find it on all of our social channels, obviously, but you also will hear it live on our program.
By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, you're also getting a shot at the great Jacob Simons, who's just
look at Jacob waves everybody.
Crushing it today.
Jacob has done a great job.
And every day, actually, out here.
Jacob has busted his butt here, and he's keeping the seat warm for Chris Doring, by the way, as a matter of fact. So, all right, as we wait on Chris, the two teams we have not talked about, Alabama and Oklahoma, yet. They were here today, but again, the way we break it down is by days of interest. LSU, the first day, most of our fans are more interested in LSU than the other teams that had come here. Obviously, yesterday was Georgia Bulldog Day. We had all the Georgia stuff, including Kirby Smart. That's why we played Tony Barnhart yesterday, because he's an SEC guy, but a Georgia guy. He went to Georgia, and today was all Gator stuff, which is why you're going to hear from, you've heard from Werfel, you're going to hear from Doring as well, plus all the Gator contingent. So you'll hear from Greg Sankey tomorrow. Anyway, point of the story is we didn't get a chance to talk a lot about Alabama or Oklahoma. What are your expectations for both of them?
I think, and I wrote this today at USA Today, I think the question has to be, has Alabama lost its mojo? I mean, you don't go 9-4, especially the way you went 9-4. You lose to Vanderbilt for the first time in 4+ decades.
Right.
You lose to Oklahoma when you literally are in line for a spot in the playoff. All you got to do is beat the worst Oklahoma team since the 1990s. Okay.
Right.
And you lose by 21.
Yeah.
Then you've got 9 wins. You're disappointed you don't get in the playoff. Bowl season arrives. You're playing a 5-loss Michigan team that's just very average.
Right.
One-dimensional. Can't throw the ball. You lose there, too.
Yeah. So
to me, that's got to be a big red flag.
It'll be interesting to see the way it plays out for both those teams. My pal Chris Doring just walked up.
How are you guys? Look at Doring comes up with a tank on because he's going to work out. He knows we're on YouTube.
No, in fairness, he said,
look,
hey,
he
man.
bows up quick. He bows up quickly when I tell him we're on YouTube.
In fairness, he sent me a text and said, hey, man, I gave you a warning. I got my workout stuff on, so yeah.
Only for you guys. Like I couldn't leave this week without checking in with my boys.
Dude, you're the best, because I know you've had a bunch of requests here, so thank you for doing this.
No problem.
Hey, man, you all right?
Good, man. It's good. It's good to be back here. It feels normal, but also very different. I felt like this year coming here was more about figuring out what these teams were going to be like. I've never been less informed about, heading into a season, what each of these teams would be. No access during the spring, no spring games, all the movement in the portal. It just feels like there's a lot of question marks for real.
Well, I think and Matt and I were talking about this, Chris. I think the summation of that is it is kind of open. I mean, Georgia and Texas are the people everyone are going to love, but Georgia's got questions at quarterback. Texas has Arch, who hasn't really played quarterback. So
Alabama's in that same mix, too.
That's right.
Yeah,
so it's pretty open, really, big picture, isn't it?
Very much so. I think the quarterback story is the big overarching story this year. A lot of really good quarterbacks in this league with varying degrees of experience. You got some young guys like DJ and Lenoris and Pavia and established guys that are coming back for another year. year. You got the highly recruited guys like Arch and Ty
Austin
Simpson.
Simmons.
Austin Simmons. You forget Ty Simpson was a 5-star back 3 years ago. And then you got some transfers, and I'm really high on John Mateer. I'm excited about watching him and that offense that he knows so well as his offensive coordinator, Ben Arbuckle, comes over to Norman. So I think it's going to be an offensively inclined season here in the SEC, which I like.
All right, you're around the Florida program. We just had Billy.
Yeah.
There's something different about him right now.
He's bowed up, man. He was bowed up.
I told
you
Frank,
had him this week, didn't you?
I said I think he knows something.
Did you
Look at the smile on Doring's face.
We had him on. We had him on just a bit before you guys did. And
does he have that aura about him? Like he knows something?
He's got some confidence. I think so. Dusty Dvorak said something about the expectation. He goes, "What do you mean? There's no expectations. They got us winning 5.5 games," which I think he's wrong about. I don't think anybody's got them in 5.5 games. But then I said, "Hold on now." Not everybody doesn't. We got some. He winked at me kind of. So I think he likes playing that little poor as us. Nobody's paying attention. But you guys know down in Florida, in our area, a lot of people are paying attention. I think the way you finished the season last year has created a lot of momentum and excitement about this year. Certainly because you got one of the best quarterbacks in the country coming back.
One of the cool things he said to us, Chris, he goes, Matt kind of teed him up a little bit and said, boy, everyone's talking about your schedule. Yeah, I'm about over it.
It was novel last year. They played it already.
Right. That's exactly
what he said. Yeah, so already played it.
But he almost, I'm telling you, he sent out the tweet, the spot the ball tweet yesterday. Yeah. And so to me, I told Matt this, and I kind of told Billy this. He kind of comes off as the guy like you're in a bar fight and the guy's talking. Bill, oh God dang, let's go outside and go. That's the impression I got from him today.
Yeah, he's kind of is that guy in general. You know, it doesn't. I asked Caleb Banks today. I said, man, people get upset because he doesn't show a lot of emotion. Or actually, it was Jake Slaughter I asked that too. It doesn't show a lot of emotion. Does that bother you? He's like, no, we see it in the locker room. I think he saves it for the right moments. But sometimes the guy that talks the most doesn't necessarily have to back it up. I think it's the other way for Billy. Billy doesn't need to talk, and he's got a little swag to him.
Yeah. But also, I think confidence, they're better now after that second half of last season. Like you guys, when you played, people would say schedule, and Spurrier would laugh at it. He'd say, no, they have to play us. Yeah. We don't have to play them.
Yeah. I don't ever remember thinking about a schedule.
Right,
Never.
Right.
Never,
it was always, they have to play us. Are you crazy? Yeah. So are they there, you think? Mentally.
I think they believe, he talked about that with us today too, is like somewhere along the way with Tennessee, even though we don't believe in moral victories, they had a lot of success in that game. Probably should have won that game. And I think that gave them the confidence that they could go into anybody's backyard and beat them. Georgia, they had them on the ropes until DJ goes down. Yeah, I think it's a belief. I think it's a change in competitiveness. I look at the way that defense played in the second half of the season, changing what they were doing philosophically, being a little bit more attacking up front, penetrating. Some of the things that I think about are like, why did it take so long? And the momentum that was created at the end of the year, I'm cautiously optimistic, but we've seen 2 straight seasons where they didn't look like they were ready to play. Utah 2 years ago, and then last year against Miami. So I asked him that question. I said, how do you make sure you're ready to go? Because I talked to him in preseason last year, one of the practices. He was confident then, and I think he was really surprised that they played so poorly in those first the big ball games last season.
Yeah, I asked Greg McElroy this, and I really believe this. As you know, I've covered this stuff for a long time. I think during most of my time covering it, there's a team that has the game's half won when they get there because the other team's intimidated and the other team plays tight. It was the Spurrier Gators when you played. Yeah. It was the Saban Alabama teams. More recently, it's been Kirby's Georgia teams. That when they show up, the game's half won. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's anybody like that now. I think it's been Georgia up until the last year or two. Alabama's not that.
A lot of people are trying to say Texas is that, which I don't believe either. You look at the offensive line, who they lost from last season, who they lost at receiver, breaking in a new quarterback. As good as he's going to be, to think that he's not going to have some growing pains and some bumps along the way is naive. I also look at, who they beat last year in the SEC. What's their go-to win? A 3-point win against Vandy in Nashville, a 10-point win on the road against A&M. I don't really
Florida
know.
without a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, so I look at this as wide open as you kind of talked about it. I don't think there's anybody that necessarily scares the rest of the league.
Can it be as simple as you've got which is embarrassing, Long Island and USF for 2 games? Can it be as simple as you've got those 2 games on your belt now? Now it's time to go play.
I like
you guys used to do it all the time. You know exactly what it is.
Well, you said embarrassing. You're embarrassed that they're playing LIU.
Yeah,
I'm a little embarrassed they're playing LIU. I mean,
first off, you cannot tell me you knew LIU had a football
You guys
team.
are forgetting that
There's
was
no
CW
way.
Post back in the day. CW Post was the
There's
team.
no way you knew they had a football
I said, listen,
team, man.
I've been to
way.
Long Island. I like Long Island. But
Like Long Island iced teas. Those are good.
right. I mean, what are we doing?
But you guys went. That's what you did. You'd play a couple gimme putts, and then you'd get right into
we
it.
played Houston my senior year, which was kind of one of those, not a directional school, but yeah, I like to play the best competition. I would have loved to play one of those. Remember the old school kickoff classics that they had back in the day? I would have loved to have done some of that. I like it only because I saw what happened last year against Miami, and if this team's not ready to go in the beginning of the year, I think they can get ready, beat LIU. USF, Alex Golesh has those guys. They're a better team than people probably realize, but I think it gradually steps up in competition, and then you got to be ready to go. That September matchup between Florida and LSU just doesn't feel right, does it?
Yeah, no, and Tennessee at the end of the year.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
I know. You're right.
Christy, really was impressed with DJ Lagway. What a composed, what a good-looking kid. What a composed
How
kid.
big is that dude?
My goodness, he's a big guy. But I do have this question. Everyone is so excited about him. Nobody had the crowd he had here, and I think he's got all the ability in the world. But he completed 50-some%. He was 12 touchdowns and 9 picks. He was a freshman. He was hurt. Can he be the guy that completes the intermediate pass? My friend Shane Matthews says, I know we can throw the deep ball, Frank, but can he complete the underneath? But what do you think?
Think about this. The guy was an 18-year-old freshman who was hurt the majority of the season.
That's right.
The fact that he even gutted it out. I mean, that performance against LSU with the little fake hamstring that he had with the tape or whatever, changing your game where you're more of a mobile guy just sitting in the pocket and doing what he had to do to win. Like, I love the competitive spirit. You can teach a guy. You can clean up his mechanics. You can make him more accurate. I agree. I believe. I mean, Shane knows better than I do, but I'll take all the other things for the elevation of the play of the other 10 guys in the huddle. I've never.
That's a great
It's been
point.
a long time since I've seen a guy. I think Danny did that for us back in the day, but DJ has that ability to make everybody else believe and, more importantly, fall in line. I mean, you guys know. There was a bit of guys doing their own thing, guys going out on Thursday nights, guys not necessarily prioritizing football. In talking with Jake and Caleb today, they said this guy, even though he's younger, you feel like you have to follow him in the way he prepares because he just does things on another level.
Did you get a chance to talk to John Mateer?
I did, man.
Bro,
dude, that guy's impressive.
That dude,
so,
I'll tell you what, man.
I don't know if you guys saw, but I got it, and you guys probably have this happen too as you get ready for media days. Then you come here and you start saying the same. I'm on different shows saying the same things over and over. And the more I say it, the more I believe it, right? On my show the other day, we had to go Coach of the Year, Play of the Year. I went Brent Venables and John Mateer. And
same.
I have a feeling that this is going to be a much improved Oklahoma team. I could see them winning 9, maybe even 10 games.
Yeah.
I got them going into the playoff this year. But the more you watch John Mateer, the more excited you get and the more you want to watch. He's entertaining. He's got some creativity when things break down. They use him in the run game. Everybody says, how's he going to do against better competition? How's he going to do with better guys around him, too?
Right.
I think you have to take that into consideration. But I think Brent Venables has pushed all the right buttons right now in terms of what he's done in making changes. Jim Nagy coming in as the GM and relieving him of some of the things he didn't like to do. He's calling the defense again. This is letting him do the things that he's best at, and I think that's going to make the team as a whole better.
Boy, and Matt, you said some of those same things.
Yeah, I think they're going to win the SEC. I got them winning the SEC.
If you guys are right and they're that good, what a goddamn league then.
No doubt.
Because Alabama isn't going away.
Yeah.
Texas does have that, and Georgia does have that, and I think Florida bounces back, and LSU feels like they've got a good team. Well,
I got LSU winning the SEC and the national championship.
You do?
Do you really?
I do, yeah. I got Oklahoma beating them in the final game of the season, and I wouldn't be surprised to see those guys rematch the next week in Atlanta. But I honestly believe
Brian's talking big.
Yeah.
He is talking big.
Yeah,
man.
I'm a Nussmeier guy from his days back in Gainesville. My son grew up with him. He lived 3 houses down from us.
He did?
I've watched this kid forever.
Oh, all right. I think he's really good. I didn't know that, but I think he's really good.
He's awesome. He's always been. This is what he was born to do, man. And I love a kid. Yeah, how often do we see 5th-year seniors, guys, decide to come back and enjoy what they're doing at this level and not looking forward to the next? It's a cool story.
Yeah, it is, and I think he's really good too.
He is.
I said last year, I thought in my league, that I thought he could play. I'm surprised he didn't come out.
Yeah.
I really thought he would be one of those guys. I didn't know if he'd sneak into the first round like Jackson Dart did, but I thought he would be knocking on the door, Chris.
They've got to help him out, though. I mean, Joe Sloan, they seem to get away from the run game. I thought Caden Durham was one of the great breakout freshmen of the year last year. They've got to take some of the pressure off of him, and I think he feels a lot of that need to press. I mean, he threw a ton of times last year, forced some balls that he probably didn't need to force, but he's got to be a little bit more judicious with taking some of the throws that are there and not being a little bit overly greedy like that gunslinger I think that he has.
Yeah, he lost Hilton. Anderson didn't really play to what they thought he'd play. They had problems at receiver too.
Yeah.
I mean,
the Nick Anderson addition is nice. Barry Brown, I hope that he can acquiesce in the locker room. He's a dude. It can be a little disruptive, I think, from what I hear in the locker room. But, yeah, I like what they've done there. And defensively, I think Blake Baker, you go back to Missouri, they jump from year one to year two.
Right.
They've got the pieces. I think playing in that scheme for a year is going to have them playing a lot faster.
Let's go back to Florida for a second. How good will Florida be on defense? I mean, it looks like to me they've got dudes. I worry about their tackles. I told Caleb that. I said, other than you, I know Jamari Lyons is there, but I don't know what else is there. But everywhere else,
you know what I'm excited about? A couple guys. L.J. McCray, I think he takes a big step forward this year. And our guy, Miles Graham, Ernest Graham's son.
I think he's a great player.
Miles Graham, you go back last year in that Ole Miss game. He made two massive plays on the goal line down there.
I think he's L.J. McCray, I'm going to need to see it.
Yeah.
But I think Miles Graham's a hell of a player.
Yeah, he is. George Gumbs had a great season last year. You look at. I think Cormani McLean has from what I hear, he's gotten things in line. He's got a lot of talent. So
everybody says, all right, before you get out of here, I did this with Danny was just on. I said, all right, Danny, you're 52-20. What would your two best memories at Florida? Which with Danny Werfel, it's like asking who's your favorite kid because there's 1,000 of them, right? But Dorian's got a touchdown.
You were there.
I was there. I told Danny the whole story. Danny didn't know the story. I was in the end zone.
Danny doesn't. Danny's oblivious.
He was. I didn't know that. Well, no, I was right there in the end zone. He was totally oblivious. So he was. I didn't know that, Frankie. Oh, I was right there. So, but apart from the 3 touchdowns in Athens, and we all know that story, and they were called. Give me 2 or 3 that stood out for you.
A couple things that
really stood out for you.
Yeah, you mentioned one of those games, man. Like growing up in the 80s, man, Georgia and Auburn, those were massive games. I remember they were always played back-to-back. Of those, the 3, I caught 5 that day against Georgia between the hedges. Only 3 of them counted. So back-to-back games.
Still one of the best things ever.
Yeah, that was fun. I caught 3 against Georgia, 3 the very next week against Auburn. You're talking about 6 touchdowns. In my NFL career, I only had 3. So that was awesome to get to do against those guys. My final game of the season, you guys remember that game against Florida State. We hadn't fared very well. We were coming off the choke at Doak the year before. It was my last home game. I'm in tears on the way to the stadium on the bus. And then we do the whole senior celebration, and got to shift gears. We're undefeated. We're trying to get to not only we're playing in the SEC championship the next week, we're trying to get in the national championship. Caught the touchdown that broke the career touchdown reception record in the SEC.
I remember the play.
Yep, caught it in the corner there. You talk about a wide range of emotion, and then I was a kid in the stands when Wilbur Marshall played his last game at Florida. I remember him going up into the stands with the students on that side. So I did that at the end of the ball game and just kind of soaked it all in one last time.
That's awesome. Real quick, because I've always wanted to ask you this. What was that longest yard type deal at Georgia? Did Spurgeon just say, all right, if it works once, it's going to work again? 3 straight times.
It wasn't the same play, though. It wasn't the same play. Right. We ran a couple different plays that were similar, but, the first play got a call back. I think it was a holding call. Next play, I kind of got pushed out of the back of the end zone and came back in, and it was an illegal touch. And then we ran another little cover 2 posts, and I remember the frustration. I was like, that one counts. Sorry.
I've told this story a lot of times. The first time on air years ago I ever asked Chris about that, I said, Chris, you scored 3 touchdowns. I only got credit for 1. He goes, no, Frank. I scored 5 and only got credit for 3.
That's right.
That's right. The first time I've told that story a bunch of times.
You remember who was playing in the secondary for them, right?
Who I forget about?
Robert Edwards. Talk about having a guy out of position.
That's right.
Was he really?
Yeah. But I've told the story 1,000 times too, and I always say this when Chris is here. Chris does a great job on TV, and he caught Dory's got a touchdown. We caught 30 other touchdowns. Nobody remembers that.
That's the funny part about it, because I caught my first career touchdown in that game early in the fourth quarter. At that point, I thought, man, this is it. Everything I ever dreamed about, catching a touchdown in an SEC game for my favorite team. And little did I know I'd come back and catch the game winner. But after that, you're right, 29 more touchdowns after that, and people don't necessarily remember all of those. So, it's cool, because I tell the story all the time. Most of the times you think about things in your life, you can remember exactly where you were, what you were doing. They were 9/11, space shuttle blowing up, presidential assassinations. But for Gator fans to come up to me and tell me exactly where they were, what they were doing, how they either listened to it through Mick's eyes or watched it on the closed pay-per-view that it was on. A very different time, but that really is special to me, particularly because I was a lifelong Gator fan and lived through all those disappointments. How many times did we have our heart broken in games that we should have won, and we finally find a way to pull one out that ended up propelling us on that run that Coach talks about?
The story I told Danny today, and Chris knows this story. I'll say it one more time. My listeners are tired of me telling it, but I'll tell it anyway. Mick's got the radio call. David Steele and Nat Moore have the TV call, and Larry Vitale and I are doing the pre and post on the pay-per-view. And I'm sitting in the end zone with Larry, and we're doing this post-mortem of all the season isn't lost. It's early in the year. It's okay. We were doing the don't worry, Gator fans. And as we're talking, the ball's in the air. We're in that end zone. And I'm thinking, I'm going, Larry, we got to re-script. I think they're going to win. So I remember that well. So, but
it was fun, man.
Did a great
Hard to believe that was 32 years ago now,
Isn't that
man.
something?
Yeah, time flies, doesn't it? You watch that video, man. It might as well have been 1953. You know,
my daughter was born a month later, and she's 32.
We had
amazing?
We showed a picture yesterday when Danny was on with us of holding Chris Harry's daughter, who was born on September 11th, 1993.
Right. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
It's just great. You do a great job. Chris, thank you.
Matt, good to see you. Appreciate you guys.
My buddy Chris Doring from SEC Network. Back in a moment. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The All-Star Game is in the books, and the second half of the Major League Baseball season will begin on Friday. The Dodgers, who are on top of the NL West, are plus 240 to capture the World Series and repeat as champions, while the Detroit Tigers, who have a double-digit lead in the AL Central, are plus 700. The New York Yankees, who are currently second in the AL East, are also plus 700. The Philadelphia Phillies plus 800. The Chicago Cubs plus 1,000. The Houston Astros also plus 1,000 to win this year's World Series. The Tigers are plus 250 to capture the American League pennant. The Dodgers are plus 140 to win the NL pennant. The Phillies are plus 475. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
If your house feels like a Florida swamp and your thermostat's just throwing out suggestions, then it's time to call Duck Duck Air Conditioning.
They showed up fast, fixed it right, and even cleaned up after. My house is finally chilled, and so am I.
Whether your AC needs a quick fix, a full replacement, or just a little TLC, Duck Duck Air Conditioning has got you covered with fast and honest service. Call 904-862-6769 to get your cool back, or online at duckduckac.com. When your AC is stuck, call the Duck.
I'm Renee Harrell. At Harrell & Harrell, we understand when you've been in an accident, there's a lot to handle. You've lost pay, and now the medical bills are piling up. When there isn't much insurance, some attorneys will pay your bills, take their fee, leaving you with even less than them. Not at Harold & Harold. We'll work hard to reduce your medical bills, and we promise our fee will never be more than you take home. Call us today, 904-251-1111. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Offices, Jacksonville.
Experience professional grade at Nimnik Buick GMC, home of the largest inventory of GMC Sierras in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. Now this month, save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500 or enjoy rates as low as 0% APR financing. That's right, 0%. You can't find deals like this anywhere else in Jacksonville. And Nimnik has the largest selection of GMC's impressive SUV lineup, like the all-new redesigned GMC Acadia and the highly sought-after Yukon and Yukon XL. Are you curious about an EV? Well, save big with the all-new GMC Hummer EV, SUV, and truck. plus the all-new GMC Sierra EV. You get the deal. Nobody has better prices on anything EV than my friends at Nimnick, so head there today. Shop 24/7 online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Head to Nimnick today. We are professional-grade GMC.
Guys, want a golf course fairway quality lawn? TopDressing.com just landed in Jacksonville with the golf course secret for St. Augustine grass homeowners. A patented process that aerates and turns your turf into a fairway stunner. Serious golf course technology, but in your yard. Less water, tighter cuts, total neighborhood domination. No one else scores a perfect 10 lawn. Hit TopDressing.com now. You will own the block. Top dress your yard like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Tired of high energy bills? Well, replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now. Don't miss Renewal by Anderson's summer sale. Buy 4 windows or doors and get the 5th one free. No money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months, but this offer expires July 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, a Jacksonville family business for nearly 70 years. Heck, I've been talking about them for over a decade. The Thompson family secret, Dandy is never frozen. Always fresh baked bread with quality meats and cheeses. No dry, crumbly subs here. Only soft and tasty deliciousness. When I see that logo with the little guy with the cane on the label, it tells me I'm getting a trusted brand and a quality sandwich. So do what I do. Stop in at a Circle K and make yours a Dandy today.
If you miss some of the fun, catch the best of Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing SEC Media Days. Opened up by Instant Keys. If you miss an interview, look for the best of at 1010XL.com.
You were serious about that?
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Hey Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Hacker here, and guess what my scale reads? 195 pounds. I'm shocked seeing that number, but it's there every month. The weight is staying off after dropping 122 pounds. Absolutely life-changing. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, today it was Gator Day, and it was all Gator Day on the program today. The former Gators, Werfel and Doring, stopped by. Doring's got a touchdown. It's good to hear from both those cats. And, of course, the Gator contingent. Jake Slaughter, you heard from him. You heard from DJ Lagway, the quarterback, one of the first times he's been interviewed, so we didn't know him very well. And obviously heard from Billy Napier as well. A very confident Gator group and a very confident Billy Napier, and that was on the show today. You did hear from Greg Sankey. at the end of Helmets and Heels. We did that live, and we'll play that again on our show tomorrow. And Caleb Banks we didn't get to, but he's a terrific player too, by the way. We got to 2 of the 3 Gator players who were here, but it was all Gators today on our 3rd day here at SEC Media Days.
Yeah, I mean, they sound confident, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
If you want to give a bottom line of what it looked like here with Florida, I think DJ Lagway had the most media around him. I don't think there's any question about that, including Arch Manning.
Yeah, of anybody here.
Of anybody here. And they all sounded confident. They all sounded like they're ready for something unique this year.
Yeah, they really did. And again, look, everybody's confident in Media Days.
Sure.
I get that. No one comes here and says we're going to suck, but it really, knowing that.
You know the difference between a team that's confident or a team that's whistling through the graveyard.
Yeah,
you know it.
because we've done it enough times, so there's no question about it. So, all right, let's say hello to RJ.
Now, the 2-minute drill on 1010XL.
Ooh, what a day it's been today, RJ. And RJ's been helping us out as well. RJ wears a bunch of hats over there. How you doing, RJ?
Good. How are you guys? I mean, it looks like you guys are having a great time in Atlanta, talking to a whole bunch of, different cast of characters. I'm kind of jealous. I need to brush up on my college football, so maybe I can be down there one day with you guys.
We'd love to have you, bro. It's been a fun run. So speaking of you, what's coming up on your show tonight?
Absolutely. Going to talk some more Jaguars with Travis Hunter, having that cameo with Kai Cenat. Just how much excitement is that bringing to, the Jacksonville Jaguars, as well as, just the entire fan base? I feel there's probably excitement that hasn't been here in a long time. We'll also discuss Jaguars with J.P. Shadrick and Orlando Magic basketball with Dante Marchitelli. They had a big offseason themselves, and with the East being so wide open, can the Magic, make a breakthrough in the East and have a deep playoff run, and dare I say, go to the NBA Finals? So we'll have all that and more coming up here in just a few minutes.
All right, RJ, you're going to knock it out. I know you do. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, that'll do it. JJ, great work today, bro, by the way. JJ's got a bunch of hats he's wearing, too, so we appreciate it, dude. Very nice. Very nice work. So tomorrow, Matt and Jacob will still be here tracking down our final day at SEC Media Days, tracking down what happens tomorrow. I'll be back in studio. I'm flying back in the morning, so I'll be back in studio with Hayes Carline. Lee Smith will join us. We'll talk a little golf, but it'll be mostly SEC. You'll hear from Greg Sankey tomorrow, Caleb Banks, and a whole lot more coming from tomorrow's sessions as well. That'll do it for our program. RJ's next. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.